What I heard you say was, let me see if I understand this correctly. These phrases are just one active listening technique that you can use for every sales call. In this video, I will talk about 4 more active listening techniques that clarify confusion, build rapport, resolve any misunderstanding with your clients or customers, and ultimately close more sales calls. Recently, one of my clients, who's a senior leader of a $2 billion company in New York, has used these active listening skills to close more sales calls. Now, what's really important is that in software sales, the cycle takes much longer. Given his engineering background, he struggled with rambling, overthinking, and when we applied these techniques, he was able to present with confidence. These techniques work for international professionals, engineers, introverts, who struggle in high-stakes situations like sales training and negotiating and closing these deals. So let's talk about these techniques. First one is giving the client or the prospect customer undivided attention. That means that you are fully looking into their eyes, which for many of us is uncomfortable. You are mirroring their bodily language. If they're leaning in, you lean in. If they lean back, you lean back. So you are fully present and giving attention to what the person is saying. You're not on your phone. What giving undivided attention means is that you're not formulating a response. You are just listening to what the person has to say. Number 2, you withhold judgment. A lot of the times when we're listening to the person speak, we are having judgments around what they say. You notice that in your body when you scrunch your eyebrows or you tighten your fist and all of a sudden you want to be defensive. That is judgment. When we withhold judgment, we are not trying to give a rebuttal, meaning we are not trying to respond quickly. The important thing about withholding judgment is that you are staying in the present moment and allowing that person to also finish what they have to say without interruption. Number 3, mirroring their words. So if they're using words like, I'm afraid it won't work in this way, you can say, okay, won't work this way. What do you mean by that? Mirroring key words helps the other person understand what they have said, and you can zoom in and focus on those specific words to create an opportunity for that person to elaborate even more what they meant. So the mirroring the words is like an opportunity that you're creating in the conversation. And I'll give you another example. If the client says, we just don't have the bandwidth for a massive software rollout right now, you can say, massive software rollout. Can we actually go into that a little bit more? I would like to understand. Number 4 is reflect and clarify. And this is what I've talked about in the beginning of the video. How you reflect and clarify is you say these phrases. What I heard you say was, you don't have the bandwidth to do a massive software rollout at this time. Is that correct? Or you could use another phrase. I just want to be clear to make sure I understand. So you don't have the bandwidth for a massive software rollout at this time. Is that correct? This is how you are reflecting and clarifying. When you reflect these phrases and you mirror these words, you can really get clear on what the person is trying to say and what are their pain points. And you discover those opportunities where there is collaboration, because collaboration is what leads to a completed sales cycle. Now, number 5, we don't do enough of this. It's buying time in the process. So when you mirror words and gestures, you buy time. You slow down the communication process. You're not rushing to do the sale. You need to buy time in high stakes negotiations. You need to buy time in interviews and also sales presentations. When you slow down, you're perceived as an expert. The greatest masters are very calm and collected. They're confident because they have done it for a very long time. So I've covered these 5 active listening techniques because they're super helpful for engineers and senior leaders who are heading team meetings and negotiations, and as well as doing sales training. If you found these techniques helpful, we will focus on using these active listening techniques and applying them to sales training. We end each episode with, do the best that you can every day.